fuck around. Don't be cute. We both know why you're here. You're here to see the coins that make you go, oh my. And trust me, my horny little friend, you're in the right place. I know you've been sitting in your chair in the corner watching us as we fuck on this channel. You saw my calls from last video. You saw OVPP, oh my. You saw RBR, oh my. And of course, you've seen EMDR, and your little hobbit ass sitting on your tiny hobbit toilet right now on your tiny hobbit iPhone. Well, you're just thinking to yourself, seeing all these gains, you're thinking, and look, I get it. You're rubbing your tiny ladylike sweaty hands together, getting excited. And this experience you're feeling right now is what we like to call alt season. I've been talking about it for a year now, from lows. I was talking about it at $1,400 ETH. And a lot of you faded, a lot of you made fun of me, you called me a broken clock, you couldn't be patient with the Master Chief of Crypto, and that's fine. I empathize with you. We are a tolerant channel. We respect diversity. We have alpha males who can buy and hold that have a testosterone above 10. And then we have some of you haters. Everyone is welcome here. That is why I've taken a new sponsor on the channel. That's right, good news for you. We are now sponsored by Tampax because many of you are colossal gaping pussies. And I want this channel to be for everybody, so you can take our new sponsor and cram it so far up your ass that those soy latte shits finally stop. Giving you more time to make sure that your wife stays off Tinder. That's right, we got something for everybody in this video. Everybody is gonna be saying, but alas, we're getting distracted. As much as I pick on your goofy little hobbit ass, I feel bad for you sitting there in your little shithole Shire apartment with your fat type smoking bearded wife. And so I, the alpha poppy of crypto, will be giving you the sauce you've came for. I'm going to give you the 7 best altcoin sectors in Q4. These things are going to, well, I think you know what they're going to do. They're going to make you say, oh my. But B, I will also be giving you 2, 3, maybe even 4 of the best coins in each of these sectors. So get off your tiny little hobbit toilet right now. Go find a nice, remote, quiet viewing space. Come join my millions followers, because you got the hookup, you got the sauce, you got the insider information. You are with the Master Chief of Crypto. Everyone's very jealous because you're about to get the sauce, you're about to get the altcoins. We're about to begin. Let's get started. So look, I don't think I have to lay it out to you guys. It's pretty clear what's happening, but I'm gonna lay it out because I know the main viewership of this channel is a bunch of inbred retards. That's fine. I don't care who views this channel as long as I get the views. And we need to move quickly right now because as you see, all the charts are pumping very hard right now. And we're seeing the first moves in the alt season, which is why you need to know what is going to happen in Q4 and where these pumps are gonna be, where the things are gonna make you go, come close, oh my. And this video is going to be your treasure map, as I said. But alas, we don't have time for jokes. We gotta move straight into this. So before we get into these altcoins, before I tell you where the treasure's at, I know you guys are eager to take your sloppy salami and stick it straight into the pencil sharpener wrist. Just dive straight into these altcoins. No thought process whatsoever. But I know there's 2 viewers on this channel and 1.5 girls. Yes, we have 1 full-grown woman and then kind of this elfish lady, this dwarven lady named Matilda. She has a peg leg, she rucks around. I can't give her the full woman status. It's not because I'm sexist or anything like that. She's not half a person, she's very, very small. But these 2 chicks and the 3 guys in this channel that have an IQ past 5, I know you're interested on why these markets are actually moving and how you can actually read these markets. So before I get into these coins, I have to spell out what is happening right now so that you understand how to play this move. So let's get into the charts. Let's bring up the good old coin market cap. So let's begin. Now, before we get started, I know a lot of you guys are here looking for the meme coin. I promised the first 15,000 viewers of this video would have a shot at it. Later on this video, you're just gonna have to find it. There's gonna be a link to allow 1,000 of you to reserve your spot, but we're gonna have 9,000 other spots on the whitelist. If you wanna be one of those spots that gets in my meme coin, which I think it's gonna do very well. Again, I make nothing from it. You need to be subscribed on YouTube. And when this video is done, go to X and follow me there because I'm only going to be dropping the whitelist to my followers and subscribers. If you're not followed, you're not subscribed, I don't have any sauce for you. So let's talk about this market right now. So again, I emphasize you need to understand what this market is doing or you're going to play this completely wrong. Give me 5 minutes here to explain this before you fucking animalize and jump over to the altcoins later on this video. Because this right here is actually how you're going to make money. Every altcoin is going to pump super hard. You could ignore all of my advice in this video and just throw your money aimlessly into the market in altcoins. You're probably going to make money. But these altcoins are all going to go This is going to be the biggest bubble you've ever seen. It's going to explode. And even if people who are up 10x are still going to lose all their money. So this is the important part right here. And with all of that in mind, please go below. I beg you, glasses off. Please go below, read the disclaimer. I've written it in English. There is also the legal disclaimer for legal beagles. I cannot stress that crypto is literally financial suicide. Your odds of making money here in this casino are extremely low. I'm not saying this to cover my ass. I'm actually telling you, you're probably going to lose money doing this if it's your first time. And in this video, I'm going to break down things that are meant for beginners and people that don't know what the fuck they're doing, which is 95% of you, that will at least stop you from hemorrhaging your entire net worth. But I cannot stress, I must stress, this is financial suicide. Your odds of making money are so damn low. This is gambling. This is not financial advice. Please read the disclaimer below. I'm saying that with utmost serious. Pause the video, go read it real quick. Now let's talk about the market and why I'm so fucking horny. Should I fucking say in these videos? All right, look, as you can see, the market is bouncing back up. It was dead for a second. Everybody was telling me I was a broken clock and wrong again, and now everybody's screaming and all season on Twitter. You guys are some bipolar fucking retards. This in mind, we're seeing the market charge back up, and we're seeing us heading into Q4 and perhaps the best bullish setup, the alt season, the Q4 run that we've all been predicting for years. And right now you're seeing it start to move up. Everybody's starting to scream alt season. This is just the tippity tip of what's happening. Everybody's getting so damn horny on Twitter. It's like a dude who saw his first tits in American Pie for the first time, and it's completely ruined 5 pairs of pants from climaxing much too early. Look, I know a lot of you guys are crypto virgins. You're not used to this kind of stuff. The smallest pump whatsoever causes you to throw up, jizz in your pants, and shit all at the same time, which isn't cool because I know you all live with your parents and your mom is the one doing your laundry, and she's just fucking broken at this point. But if you can manage to calm down your erection and change your jizz and shit-stained Chipotle wrecked pants for 1 minute, you have to understand, this is not alt season. All the pumps that we're seeing right now that I'm about to go through that everyone's getting so horny for, this is not alt season. This is just the prelude. What we're about to be seeing is we're seeing coins like OVPP, which I told you last video, the buy down here, it's now soaring upwards. It did like a 3x literally in a couple days. We're seeing this pump and people are like, alt season's here. Guys, I have to stress to you, you need to understand, alt season isn't where we see little 2, 3x pumps and a few coins. We're going to see almost every single altcoin go and do 2, 3x's. We are going to see a lot of altcoins do this type of behavior right here. You do not understand how fucking ridiculous the gains are and the movements are during alt season. This is why I've been holding patiently for years, because nothing that happens up until this point fucking matters. Like, the coins have gone up 3 to 4x. They've gone down 80%. They've gone back up 3 to 4x. And everybody's yelling at me the whole entire time, like, what the fuck is going on? Well, I'm just sitting here literally doing nothing. I'm just sitting here in a diaper, drinking my chocolate milk, sending my mom off to collect Pokemon cards for me, and relaxing, because nothing that's happened to this point matters at all, because we're going to be seeing this type of movement right here. People doubt me on this all the time. And that's just because I don't think people remember, and I don't think a lot of people here were here in 2020. Look, we saw CryptoPunks, for example. Perfect example of what happened in 2020. They shot up to about $15,000 from $1,000, and people were calling the top left and right. They said the NFT bull run is here. Then CryptoPunks ran to $450,000. They did a 30x after people were calling the top and saying, NFT bull run, alt season is here. This is what we're seeing right now. We're going to see coins like OVPP that are doing these 3x's right here that everybody's getting excited about. They're going to go and do another 20, 30x. Now, look, before we continue forward, please read that disclaimer again. I'm very excited here. Please, for the love of God, read that disclaimer again. Any big gains I talk about here, you're still probably going to lose all your money. And I'm not specifically saying that OVPP, this one coin, is going to do a 20, 30x from here. I think there's potential to do it. What I'm saying is that the type of insanity we're about to see, it's going to make what we're seeing, well, it's going to make it, just look down. That horrible lack of manhood you see there, it's going to make it look like that. Last bull run, altcoins moved so hard, and if we have another alt season, which I'm going to explain why I think we're going to have that right now, they moved so hard that money didn't even seem real anymore. You see a coin drop, the next day it's at a $305 million market cap. I think we're about to see that, and here is why. So look, if we look at the market cap of all AI coins, which I think is going to be one of the hardest runners, we're seeing at just a $32 billion market cap, and this is very generous because this is including way too many coins that aren't in AI. I would say the total market cap of true AI coins right now is about $10 billion. Look, NVIDIA is worth trillions of dollars. There are multiple AI companies right now that are starting from scratch. They're hitting $1 billion, $5 billion, $10 billion, 60, 50, zillion dollar market caps left and right in the stock market. This is tiny. And you need to understand this. This is the big point. We have $7.3 trillion tied up in money markets right now. What are money markets? My financially illiterate little dipshit. Look, my little inbred friend. Money markets are essentially where you can take your money. You just take $1 million if you have it. You put it in a money market, and because rates are so high right now, you can make a passive 4, 5, 6, whatever percent on it every single year, risk-free. Now, the markets have looked very, very scary, and if you look at the S&P where people store a lot of their money, that usually goes up about 8 to 10% per year. So a person right now can get risk-free 5%, 6% a year on all their money. That is going away as rates start going down. And so we have $7.3 trillion locked up in these markets of people who thought the market was going to go down, and they hedged against it and are keeping all their money there. As rates go down, inflation is going to start meeting the yield they're getting from this, and they're going to want to FOMO the hell back in the risk markets because everything's going to start popping. They're going to want to start buying assets again because the gains on assets are going to be so extreme. So we're going to see this $7.3 trillion flood into risk markets. Now, is this all going into crypto? No, of course not. But you need to understand Bitcoin and Ethereum are the two hottest investments on Wall Street right now. Ethereum is by far. As they get more and more horny, what's going to happen is they're going to get tired of Ethereum. Ethereum's going to get to $6,000, $7,000, and the gains on that are not really going to be there anymore. They're not going to be there for a risk person who wants to make a ton of money, which is what Wall Street and big money wants to do. So they're going to come down to these coins right here like Solana and AVAX and Hype. And of course, editor put a French beret on me. I like to say it with class. Je suis le better, le baguette. This is the classiest of all coins. Coins like this are going to pump very hard because all the big money is going to roll into them. Now, you need to understand that the market cap of these things are only in the billions. And you need to understand that market caps aren't an accurate representation of how much money is actually in there. For example, if you put $1 billion in AVAX right now, yes, it's sitting at a $12 billion market cap, but it's probably going to send it to a $20 billion market cap. It's not reflective of how much money is actually in and out of the coin itself. So you need to understand when the $7.3 trillion floods into risk. Yes, it's mostly going to go in the stock markets and real estate and whatever. But even if 100 billion of that, 150 billion of that comes into crypto, specifically in the altcoins, it's going to send these bigger altcoins right here skyrocketing. And then if just $1 billion floods into the market, like for example, AI, we're going to see this market easily do a 10, 20x, even on the big coins. And the smaller coins, when these big coins right here start to move, for example, Tau, probably one of the best AI coins you can hold, this thing's going to go to a $10 billion, $15 billion market cap, a clean 5x from here. People are going to then come down here and want to speculate heavy. And we're going to see stuff like AOS and Despera and ZigChain go insane. We're going to see smaller coins like Graph AI with by far the best ticker in the industry, Gay. I mean, the jokes are just, for a channel like mine, I don't even care what the fucking coin does. If I can just say, get those gay gains, straight face, I'm not being a bigot here. Okay, I'm using the coin ticker. You're the one who's insinuating something here. I can just say I'm gay for this coin all day long and just completely get away with it. Can't cancel this motherfucker. I'm just being a financial analyst here. I don't even care what the coin does. That's what it's going to do so well. But the gains are just going to be gay from this point going forward. They're going to be huge. They're going to blow your bum wide open. Okay, I'm done. But what's going to happen is it's going to come down to these lower coins. And a lot of these lower coins are sitting at 30, 50, $100 million market caps. There's and people are going to get wildly drunk off these gains because you're going to see, as this continues, more people are going to start getting this feeling that they got with OPPP that I just mentioned. And they're going to start getting really ballsy because the way crypto works is unless like alt season comes out of nowhere. What happens is we start seeing coins start moving like this and people start 2 to 3xing their money. And what they do is they say, oh, okay, I just 2 to 3x $1,000. What if I go in and put in $5,000 into another coin? And they're going to keep getting gains and keep getting really reckless gains and start thinking they're really smart. And every time they make more money, they put more money in and they start gambling harder and harder and harder. And it snowballs. It starts with small little gambling. Then people get hornier. And it gets into a bubble, just like we saw in meme coins last year, just like we saw in 2020, just like we saw in NFTs back then. And it just gets absolutely out of hand. That's what's going to happen here. And this is what we're starting to see happen right now. So if you're watching this thinking you missed alt season or something like that, no, you probably didn't. People are just starting to get drunk. People are just starting to say, oh, utility is the place to be on Twitter. Trust me, when alt season is in its full brim, money's not going to seem real and people are going to be screaming at you, insulting you for even having a slight hinge of bearishness. We're not there yet. People are just like, oh, maybe there's some hope. Trust me, you're going to get chased off Twitter. People will dox you. They will come shit in their hand and rub it all over your door. They will Photoshop you getting butt fucked by a polar bear and put it on X because they are that damn reckless and drunk at the peak vault season. We're not there yet. As soon as you start seeing me getting sodomized by polar bears on X, that's probably when it's time to pull out. But I know a lot of you creepy little inbred motherfuckers, that's the kind of thing you're into. So please don't let that distract you. So this all in mind, what I want to do now is I want to talk about where these pumps are going to be at. All right, where are the top sectors this is going to be at? This is the part you've been waiting for. That also being said, really quickly, if you want to get in the coins like OPPP, you want to get in the coins that I've mentioned that are given the gains early, you want to be following me on X. That's where all the stuff happens early. I can only make one of these videos every 2 weeks because I'm lazy as shit. So let's talk about the sectors. First thing I want to talk about, good old beginner basic cryptos. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you the sectors, and I'm going to show you a beginner coin in each sector that if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, which is 95% of you, stick to this coin or stick to coins around this area. I'm going to show you a middle cap coin and I'm going to show you low cap coins. So you can see a whole range of examples of where the gains are going to be. If you're in the bigger beginner coins, the gains are going to be lower, but you're not going to lose all your money. If the market crashes, we get World War III, even if that horrible thing comes to happen, these coins are still probably going to be here next market. They're actual real technology. They're actually doing something. As we work farther down the totem pole, they get more and more risky and these coins get annihilated and blow up all the time, but they do deliver the bigger gains because that's where the massive risk is. So again, I emphasize, stick to the big juicier coins up here if you are completely new to crypto, you don't know what you're doing. And as I work my way down, the risk gets much higher. The coins will give bigger gains. But again, I emphasize about 10, 15, 20% of these will explode and go to zero in the middle of the bull run. Okay, so these are extremely risky coins. So I'm going to give you the whole range right here. So the place we're going to start off with is big, chunky DeFi coins. These are going to be the mainstay coins of your portfolio. So we're going to start with the big, giant coins. If you're looking to make gains, you're probably not going to make the biggest gains on Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think Ethereum probably has a 2, maybe a 2.5x left in it. That's great if you're a normal person, okay? But we're looking for the kind of gains. All right, someone clip that. That's the noise you make when you make money. So look, if I had to pick 3 coins that are larger cap coins that are not going to explode to zero, which they all still can. We saw one of the biggest coins last run, Luna, go all the way to zero. So again, like, trust me, your dick is in the pencil sharpener risk here, no matter what. But if I had to pick a few coins, the number one I would actually pick right now is going to be AVAX. AVAX is the best large cap giant coin out there. Full transparency, I work with AVAX a lot now. I'm partnered with them. There is a little bit of bias behind this. That said, AVAX is making all the right huge moves right now. They are going to be the layer 1 of gaming. There is tons of AI launching on it right now. And from the market cap perspective right now, people are going to see Solana do a big move here soon, in my opinion. And they're going to come down and look at these smaller coins right here and say, which one's going to do the big moves? What's the next big Solana-like play? It's going to be AVAX. AVAX is just incredible right now with everything they're doing. Where I would also pick, because I think Hype is going to do extremely well. I don't own any Hype, but I think it's going to do stupid well. I think Cardano, I own a lot of Cardano, and I hate to say this. Because this is a coin that's exclusively made up with fat little inbred hobbits. You might have seen them going around town now. They're starting to make money. They're getting really cocky. Every Friday night, they go rollerblading around, little tank tops on, listening to fucking Kesha TikTok on the clock, getting really ballsy. They don't even care that other people bang their wives now. They think it's cool. Just rollerblading around town, TikTok blaring, showing up to their favorite restaurant. It's kind of like a spinoff of Chuck E. Cheese. It's called McCuckin' It's where you go while your wife does other things on a Friday night. These people are fucking terrible. And the second they get money, you're going to see all the Miami nightclubs just be ruined. It's just going to be covered with just hentai and AI waifus and like furry shit. It's going to be just terrible. Just terrible. We don't want to see these people make money, but I think they are. So Cardano's probably going to do very well. I see it easily going to $5. And then finally, I think the classiest of coins, the savant of coins, the most cultured of coins, Sue. These are like Cardano holders, except they wear French berets and only live off a diet of wine and baguettes. If you ever go to a crypto event, they're just so fucking classy. You're going to be really jealous. You're going to really wish you had some culture. But as you all guys know, the most majestic, most cultured coin in the market, Sue, is going to do, I think it's going to do exceptionally well. I still don't know what the fuck this coin does. Like I said last video, I'm committed to doing zero research on it, but it has the fundamentals. And so I think if you're building a big cap portfolio where you don't want to get your dick completely sawed off, probably the closest to a safe bet that I can give you. So next, let's talk about the actual sectors, because when alt season kicks off, the big narrative that's going to happen right now is that crypto is going to start changing multiple areas of our normal day-to-day life. And if you go and look into these things, when you look at AI, when you look at energy, you look at robotics, you look at resource management, you look at privacy, you look at the exchange of how we manage our currencies everywhere, it's going to change everything. It's going to rapidly change everything. But here's the point I need you to understand. Actually, here's the point that I understand. You don't give a like you just want number go up. You don't care if it changes anything. So forgive me in this video, I could sit down and explain to you how AI is going to change robotics. It's going to change how we decentralize the power behind AI. I can talk about how it's going to redefine our energy grid, but you don't care. So why would I make content for you don't care about? I'm just going to show you the coins in each sector and a brief little summary of why it's going to work. But I'm going to show you the coins that I think are going to go pamp. All right. So that's what we're going to do. All right. We're going to keep this nice inbred, low IQ content that you know, love, and approve of. And we're not going to try and get big brain here. So what is going to move the most? So the place we have to start at is just going to be good old DeFi. Just good old traditional DeFi coins. We want to go and try and find the next Uniswaps. We want to go and try and find the next Solanas, the next Lunas. I think one that has significant heat right now is Kita. This is a layer one that has all the sauce. People are calling the next XRP. It does a lot of cool things, but the most important thing right now is that it has the hot hand and narrative. This is something I got into a little bit earlier, and it's been doing really, really, really well. I should have gotten a bigger bag of it. But I think this thing is probably going to multiple billions, and it's probably going to go join some of the top coins if this narrative it has keeps going. Another coin that I think is going to do really well and is more tied in the general DeFi, which is basically decentralized finance and the movement of money, loans, all sorts of stuff like that, is going to be this. This chart looks great right here. If we bring it all the way out, get in, I promise you it won't do that again. It's fine. It's fine. But if you go look at Clearpill from the last few months, Clearpool is a really good other DeFi coin that I think is a good leader and probably going to go to a multi-billion dollar market cap because of how it manages money. So this is probably one of my top big DeFi coins. And if I'm going anywhere after those big giant coins I mentioned, it's probably being coins like these. Now, when I talked about finding the next Uniswap, I have to mention Black Hole. As you guys know, I am one of the founders here, but what we're seeing on Black Hole right now, I'm going to tell you the non-biased approach to this, okay? Because of course, as a founder, you would think I want you to buy the coin. I actually don't give a shit if you buy Black Hole or not, because if you look at the volume on Black Hole, it is by far one of the fastest growing DEXs in the space. It's like completely slaughtered AVAX's decentralized exchange. And this is racking up crazy amounts of fees for people that hold Black. For example, people that were able to go and vote with their Black last week were able to generate and be on pace for almost a 2x yearly APY on it. And so what people are using Black for is to farm money. It's where you actually take your profits, you convert it to Black, and then you use that to farm money like you would a treasury or something like that. It's not as consistent or risk-free as like a yield-free treasury. Don't take my words from it. That's why it's generating those 2x APYs. But what's going to happen as the market picks up and more people start using that, the fees are just going to get outlandish. And the amount you're able to return by voting with your Black is just getting outlandish. And that's going to drive the price of the coin up higher. And you're going to see this in a lot of coins that actually have revenue and stuff being generated. I think Black Hole is massively undervalued. The memeage also on the name alone, just great. I'm sure you guys, if you guys saw the memes I made with Graph Gay Coin, I mean, we literally have a coin with the word hole in it. I mean, there's a lot of things I can do here, but I think Black is massively undervalued. And another DEX that I think is going to do very well is going to be Gradient, because this one solves all the slippage problems. And I think a lot of low-level trading is going to be done on Gradient simply because if you get most coins, you're going to see when you try and trade them, they have like 20-15% slippage that absolutely destroys the profit margins. Gradient fixes it. So if I'm going through my basic DeFi coins, I think these ones are all going to perform very, very well. Black is just going to be driven up by the use alone. It's not a speculative coin. There's just so much volume on there. The amount you generate by holding Black is outlandish, and people are going to notice that, and they're going to start buying the coin for that. But Clearpool, KTA, Gradient are where I'm going to go for general DeFi, which is how people trade, manage money, loans, so on and so forth. So if we're getting into AI crypto, I'm going to have a specific AI crypto video coming up here soon. I'm just going to mention a few coins off the top of my head. Now, if you get into AI crypto, obviously the best coin you want to get into as a beginner is going to be something like Tau. All right. If you don't know what the fuck you're doing and you want to add something that gives you exposure to AI, you just get into Tau. The end. All right. That's probably going to do very well. Probably going to go to, I don't know, $15 billion market cap by the end of this run. If we get a good, true alt season with all the hypage on AI, like that's just where it's going to run to. If you look at the market caps on other AI companies in the world, that same exact hype is going to spill over here. Now, if I'm looking for actual gains in this, like big juicy gains, I'm going to start at AOS first. This is like the big chunky big coin that I would start at, which is probably going to go to a multi-billion dollar market cap and chase Tau. So when Tau starts to move, that's when we're going to see AOS really start to move as well. And so if I'm looking for something that's good, consistent, not a new startup, I'd go with AOS. That's probably going to give you the large, consistent gains long term. Another really riskier one that I'm actually using to trade Tau is going to be Tau Bot. This is the decentralized exchange on Tau, kind of similar to Gradient. I love decentralized exchanges because they get a lot of use and they actually drive through real use cases. They pump the price of the coins. This is going to be Tau Bot. Very simple. If Tau goes and does a 4x, this is going to do an 8x. If you want more exposure to bigger gains in Tau, you just buy Tau Bot and you get bigger gains from it. I think Tau is a shoe-in for something that's going to run this run. So that's why I think this is a shoe-in as far as lower cap coins go. Now, if I'm making more suggestions where I think huge gains are going to be at, of course, my top coin probably in AI is going to be Destra. I think this is easily going to run back up to a $500 million market cap. This is the most widely known. It has the best branding. It has the most hype behind it in the space. And one thing we're seeing with AI coins right now is they haven't really moved yet compared to some of the coins I'm going to show here in a second. This is really good because the pumps we're seeing that people are calling alt season right now, it hasn't even started yet, and we haven't seen people really move back into AI coins. AI coins are going to probably be one of the leader, the most pumpiest coins in the market. Destra probably is one of the most well-known. A lot of money is going to spill into this. The other one that's up there with it is probably going to be Zig Chain, which has the whole layer going for it system. If you don't know what layer ones are, I don't expect you to, because like, why ever learn anything about crypto? Like, just basic terminology. Nah. It has a cool name. You like the word zig and you like the word zag? Well, this coin is for fucking you, retard. All right, so look, Zig Chain. It's a layer. It's a chain. It is based around AI. That's all you really need to know. It has massive hype behind it, and I think Zig Chain and Destra are probably going to be two leading AI coins. If I'm getting into smaller, newer AI coins, Graph AI has an absolutely stupid hot hand right now. It's just getting so much action whenever the market starts to move. I think if we're looking at the smaller coins, this one's going to move super turbo very hard. One, because it does amazing, really cool stuff, which doesn't matter. All right, you need to understand all these coins right here. I'm not referencing Gay right now. In particular, but a lot of these coins, like most of them, don't do anything. Even the ones that are going to do very, very well don't do anything. So what I'm telling you right now is not that Gay doesn't do anything. What I'm telling you is that even if a coin does something really cool, it doesn't really matter. People are just going to throw money at whatever has the hype and narrative behind it. Last run, we had so many coins that literally do nothing that are still sitting at like multiple $100 million market caps and blew up and gave people 300, 400 X's. So please keep in mind, whenever I talk about coins on here, I'm going to a lot of times ignore what they do. I'm going to say, yeah, they do really cool things, but they got the narrative and the story, because that's what people invest in these runs. People are not going to be investing in technology or whatever that's going to pay off 5 years from now. They want money right now. They want the hot narrative. So Graph, in my opinion, has one of the hottest narratives of one of the smallest AI coins. Now, there are so many AI coins in the market, which is why I'm going to make a separate AI video here in the future. I just wanted to point these out right here as examples. Now we're getting into the fun, kind of weird shit. So first, we got to talk about RWA coins. And this is the tokenization of real-world assets, apartments, land, real estate, stocks, whatever you name it. By far, I think the hottest one right now is Tharwa. This is tied to all sorts of stuff going on in Dubai. You have all sorts of Dubai money coming in. One of the things I think is going to be a massive narrative run, if I can sit here and look big IQ for a second, is we're seeing the UAE start dumping massive amounts of money into crypto. Like, they're getting very, very horny. They see the pencil sharpener and they are like just bottles of lube, Diddy party, like looking at it in very, very inappropriate ways. So I think one thing we're going to see with a lot of these coins that I mentioned is we're seeing the UAE pouring a lot of money in there, are preloading, or like even to some point getting in way too early on a lot of these coins, which they're preparing for these pumps that are coming. And the amount of money that they have over there that they can put into these things is going to be silly. And so I think UAE pumping altcoins is going to be a huge thing. Nothing has the backing of the UAE like Tharwa does, and all the RWA stuff they have going over there. So I think this is probably going to be one of the hottest RWA coins. Another one that I think has the hot hand, but it's a little bit of an older coin, is going to be Pinlink. So I think Tharwa is very, very hot. And I think all the things that Pinlink does in terms of RWA are going to make it, I think these coins right here are just going to deliver ridiculous returns. And RWA coins are a little bit underhyped right now, and they haven't seen the huge movement yet. Tharwa's actually started to move a whole lot, but a lot of RWA coins have not moved, and this is probably going to be one of the biggest narratives. Another one I have to mention off the top of my head, it's doing some really cool stuff, is going to be autos. And so this one brings RWA to cars, which no other chain or coin is doing. And one thing I would look for in these coins is you want to look for the narratives that are new and haven't been attempted yet. So for example, OVPP, the reason why it's pumping so hard, it's the first one to really bring blockchain to the management of energy, which no other coin is really doing efficiently. This right here gave them the huge exposure. The problem that a lot of AI coins have right now is there's a lot of AI coins that do general AI stuff. There's very few coins, particularly, that do really unique things. Autos is a very good example of one that's in a very small market cap, but doing very unique things, which is bringing blockchain and decentralization to the renting of cars and car ownership and stuff like that. That's why I think it's going to do very, very well from these levels. Now, as far as unique things go, I think one of the biggest upcoming narratives is going to be robotics in crypto. Now, why do I think that? Now, there's a lot of reasons we could say robotics and crypto, because what it's going to allow it to do is, like, robotics are going to control everything. We're going to see robots doing so many jobs, and being able to train robots in a decentralized way and then share the programming that makes them do certain things is going to be huge. That's the main application blockchain has in this. That doesn't matter, though. What really matters right now is that robotics are sexy. It's provocative. It gets the people going. It makes people feel very smart, like, oh, I just invested in a new blockchain robotics company. Swear! There are very few robotics coins right now. 2, robotics is going to become one of the hottest narratives on Wall Street. 3, it sounds really fucking cool. So if we combine those all together, there's really only 2 coins in the market right now that have the attention, and they're both very small, and robotics has just started up. So again, we have the trifecta of everything right here. The best coin in robotics right now, in my opinion, is modular. It just is. It has the attention, it has the narrative, has everything going behind it. And this is why we've seen it go to a $40 million market cap so quickly. I think this thing's going to the moon, because it's just going to absorb all the attention and hype that's in the robotics industry. And so I think we have like an early version, almost like a Tau or something right here with EMDR. And the thing is, there aren't very many robotics coins out there. The only one out there worth mentioning is also going to be RBR, which is like the little brother to EMDR right now. And so I think this one's easily going to run up to a $30-50 million, like easy $30-50 million market cap in the next few weeks. So those are the 2 robotics coins. They're just literally in a little island all by themselves right now in terms of narratives. And so I think they're going to do super duper well. And as a whole, I think we're going to see robotics really take off here. And we're going to see a lot of coins popping off. So if you're looking for anything new in the space, like, look for robotics coins. So the next sector is going to be DePen. Nobody thinks about this one. And that's why it's going to come in and really deliver that. It's a me, a Mario. I'm just looking for reasons to scream in an Italian accent, because when we get into this point in the video, I get really bored because I'm just sitting here reading CoinGecko. And so basically I just pick a European country, France, Italy, whatever, and scream nonsense in their accent. Okay, this is who you listen to for crypto advice. Anyways, so look, anyone, DePen, what is DePen? All the things I just talked about, it needs to be in a way that's decentralized, so it's also anonymous. So you don't want people knowing who you are when you're renting certain things or seeing what you're doing. Like, for example, if I'm renting a bot's code through EMDR or something like that, or decentralizing that, I don't want people being able to track back to my computer, see who I am, see the things I'm investing and moving into. It just all breaks down and falls apart in terms of decentralization, in terms of AI. It's all just a giant mess if everybody can see exactly who's doing it. This is why something like Anyone is so essential, and it plugs into all these things, and everybody forgets about DePen. They're not going to forget about it once all this stuff starts moving, and this stuff just becomes, it's essential for doing any of these things. You have to have it. It's like a chain link. So DePen is going to be huge. Another really good example of a DePen coin is going to be ZKML. And so, like, Anyone's the middle cap coin of this, but the smaller coin of this is going to be ZKML, because not only does it help with privacy, it helps with security. And these are such huge, giant issues in crypto that people don't think about because it's not very sexy. When all these things I just talked about, RWA, like, you don't want your fucking real estate assets to be non-secure, non-private. You don't want your AI and everything you're investing in your company to be non-secure, non-private. Like, everything has to use these things. And so I think these 2 are going to run very, very hard, as well as the whole entire DePen sector. Now, another sector I think is going to be the hottest of hot narratives is going to be energy and resources. I don't just think energy. I think the management of water. I think the management of electricity. I think the management of Wi-Fi, internet, everything like that is going to just blow up, because the way we manage it, like, think about your electric bill right now. It's so dysfunctional. The way that the electricity is used in our society is so centralized around core companies that just suck. Like, they just suck major ass. And most of the expenses when it comes to our energy and everything we pay for comes to managing these giant corporate bureaucracies that do their job so ineffectively. This makes everything expensive. This makes everything a mess. I'm sure you've paid your electric bill. I'm sure you know what it looks like. So with these cryptos right here, OpenVPP, for example, this fixes this stuff. And this is why this is such a hot coin right now, because it's really the first of its kind that's caught any real fire in this narrative. I talked about OVPP a lot in this video. I think it's going to keep doing really well. I think you need to look for, as this runs to $1 billion market caps, I think you need to look for the little baby brother coins. We're going to see ones launching at 10, 5, million market caps, they're going to come and chase this one up and easily bump to 50, $100 million market caps chasing this. So that's a huge thing you need to be looking out for. This is really on its own island all by itself. Now, when it comes to gaming and memes, look, I think gaming is about to do a huge run back. And of course, my top gaming coin that I have to mention is just Super, because Super plugs into everything. It's connected in everything. I think if you want to see huge gains, I think this is easily running back up past $1 billion market cap. Absolutely no problem. So I think Super is probably one of the gaming coins you want leading your portfolio. There's other great ones out there. I just think Super is going to deliver the gains from here. On top of that, you have to look at Beam. I think Beam is just going to do very well. And I think games are probably going to be one of the hotter narratives later on in the year, because gaming is one of the most sure bets in all of crypto when it comes to what it's going to revolutionize. Look, people, I'm going to sum it up in 2 seconds. Already, people's digital selves is their ego. The things they have online, their profile pictures, the assets they have in games, you watch streamers and everything. It's one of the biggest parts of who they are and their social identity. Crypto gaming allows people to fully own that, makes it decentralized, and it allows them to transact and all those things. People are not going to want to keep all their data and everything with giant corporations that just move and delete things. It's just a giant fucking mess, okay? Gaming is going to not just be the future of how we play games. It's going to be the future of how we live our lives online. That's what I refer to on that. When you see something like Ready Player One, your expressions, the identity you have online, the assets you have online, the penthouse you have in Grand Theft Auto, this is going to make up a lot of your life. And we're going to see a lot of people spending a lot more time in the digital world than the real life world. This is why crypto gaming is just, it's the sure bet, because you're not going to want these managed by fucking Amazon. You don't want your fucking penthouse in a game managed and turned on and off like it would be by a giant Google-like company. It's going to want to be decentralized. People are going to want true ownership of these assets because it's super duper important. It'd be like if you bought a really expensive watch and then like you could only keep it at Jeff Bezos's house. Like that makes no sense. All right. So this is exactly why it's going to be so huge. And then as far as games and even meme images go, I'm not really going to get in the meme coins because I just don't think those are good for you guys. I think you can make a lot of money in memes, and people are going to be like, why don't you ever talk about memes, Mr. Alex? And it's because there's no better way to get your dick sawed off in crypto than meme coins. So I'm just going to stay away from them. I think Pump is probably going to do pretty well from here. It looks like it's going mainstream. I think memes are going to do some phenomenal things. I'm not ignoring them. I'm just not going to go on this channel and give my viewers instructions on how to fuck a loaded pirate cannon. You guys can go do that on your own. The other place I would talk about when it comes to memes and games, just Pengu. Pengu's going to like a $10 billion market. It's going to do super well. This is the future Disney. This is one of the biggest, I think, brands / icons in crypto. You're going to see it everywhere. You're already seeing it everywhere. It's like Pikachu. It's like Pokemon and Disney and Mickey Mouse all roll into one. Luca's phenomenon here. I've talked about this thing since the lows down here. And I was like, get Pengu, like it's going to do very well. It's going to keep doing very well. Pengu's just, it's the best managed NFT brand in all of crypto. Also, I think NFTs are going to come back, but I'm not going to talk about those right now. But if you see how NFTs are performing on Pudgy Penguins, for example, in their game, if you look at how they're performing on Off the Grid, we're seeing the same exact thing that happened with NBA moments back in the day with CryptoPunks, where they pumped up a little bit and everyone's like, this is cool. And then they really pumped as all the money started rolling back into the market. So those are all the sectors I'm looking at right now. That's where I'm focused on. That's where my money is invested. Of course, if you are new to this, focus to those big coins I talked about at the beginning, or the higher coins and the hierarchies of those industries I talked about. If something's below a $500 million market cap and you're new to crypto, you really shouldn't be playing with it. But those are the places I think they're going to move very hard. In the future, the reason why you want to subscribe is because, again, you're not going to get access to the whitelist for my meme coin coming up if you're not subscribed. So fuck you. But on top of that, in the next few weeks, I'm going to be releasing videos on each of these sectors because there's a lot more coins in each of these sectors. I just wanted to give you a big, broad treasure map overview in this video. So, Emma!